Well, good morning, everyone. Let's get that going. All right, there we go. There's that. Looks like we have. All right. Well, good morning, Alex.
Good morning.
How are you, sir?
I'm alive, and it's Friday.
It is Friday. This is so true. Let's see here. I think I'm having some issues with my TikTok feed. Hold on one second.
Don't forget to flip your camera.
I already did. I'm way behind.
And I will manage bringing up the rest of the crew.
Okay. Well, good morning, everyone. Let's see. We've got. Oh, right. There we go. I think we're out live on all platforms now. We have O3 USMT SGT. Good morning. Wendy is here. Good morning, Wendy. Glad you could make it. We a lot of announcements today. Lots of good things happening. Excited to share it with everybody. Share Baby 29 is here. Good morning, Share Baby. Valerie James is here. Good morning, Valerie. Marianne Thompson, good morning. Lisa Maria, good morning. It's so good to see everyone. As I was telling Alex, oh, hey, James. Hey, Dave.
Hey.
Good morning. How the heck are you guys?
Me and Alex are the Blues Brothers today.
Yeah, exactly. You guys call each other to coordinate?
We did. We left you out.
Yeah, no kidding, obviously. John Gwynn's here. Good morning, John Gwynn. Mark Matson's here. Good morning, Mark. Martin's WB is here. Good morning, Martin. Christy B and Hayesville Kiss is here. John, Tammy, and Martin, thank you for the gifts. Is that Alex?
In the house.
Kansas is in the house. And, well, there's James. Good morning, James.
Morning.
Right, he's got another thing going on today.
Wilford Brimley returns to the show, ladies and gentlemen.
I want to know what you're putting in your coffee the last couple of days.
It's been those NOS energy drinks.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, we've got Benny Kim over on Facebook. Good morning, Benny. Glad you could make it, brother. In fact, Benny, give me a shout after the live. Well, let's get caught up. Let's see here. Lisa Maria says, good Friday morning to everyone. Same to you, Lisa Maria. John Gwynn, Tammy C54, thank you for the gifts. Full Mental Jacket is here. I got it right that time, Alex. Happy Free Friday from Wendy. Tire Man is here. Good morning, Tire Man in Surfside, South Carolina. Well, good morning, Donna Fox. Good morning, Mama Bear. Boy, we got everybody piling in today. That's exciting. So I want to do, the mental jacket. I got it right this time. I know. Don't rub it in. There's a few things we're going to get caught up. We're going to mention it a few times during the live. First off, we will not be doing the health and wellness tomorrow. I didn't realize it was Easter weekend and everybody's with their families, so we're pushing it to a week from tomorrow, right? Hey, Ronnie's here too. Well, Ronnie's actually in the house. We might have to bring him up as a throwback. Ronnie used to be with us all the time, but he's had his hands full. But anyway, saying we will not be doing the health and wellness live tomorrow. We're doing it a week from. I've already notified Dr. Glidden, Dr. Neal, Pat Militek. They're all on board. They're cool with it. And again, I didn't realize it was Easter. All right, so let's see here. Thank everybody for all the gifts. And yes, it is Donut Friday. So that's our daily goal for today. Now, the first announcement was about the live tomorrow. The next announcement, which is
wait.
What?
Save that announcement. Save.
Well, I was going to do it a couple of times now.
Let's let the numbers get up because this is a big announcement. It's
okay.
A big deal.
All right, then I will wait. Well, good morning, Jan.
Hi guys, how are you? I'm losing my voice, so.
Well, maybe stop screaming at everybody.
Must have been all crap talk on your live last night that you wouldn't let me join.
You didn't ask to join,
I
Alex.
asked to join, and it said it's creators not allowing requests.
Oh,
What does that mean?
It meant that you were stalking me.
That's false information. I don't know where you got that.
I will screenshot the message next time. Anyway, I'm sorry.
all right. So we've got Rich27 is here. Excuse me. As we know, Jen House.
Looks like
Getting Botox injections. Go ahead.
Okay, that's all right. All right. So Charla Montaliva is here on Facebook as well. Welcome, Charla. Okay, so we're going to save the second announcement for a little while down the road here. In the meantime, let's get Alex going with his daily update on stock market, petrol, crypto, etc.
Crude oil sitting at $64 a barrel. S&P 500 up 7 points. Dow down 5 points. NASDAQ down 20. Gold, $3,341 an ounce, right?
Wow.
Looking at the crypto markets, pretty much status quo, not a large degree of change. If you're looking at market cap, 1 second. Why? My computer just went freaking bonkers. Bitcoin is about the same, holding steady 4,000. Where was XRP? Was around $2. Not a big. I think everything's going to hold pretty steady for a little while. 206 is where XRP is sitting. So, what else was there? They wanted to add. Tulsi Gabbard announced this morning at archives.org/RFK released the RFK files.
Oh yeah, and I'm going to report on this tomorrow, but Alex, do you want to give everybody a little peek preview on what the White House just announced?
It's fantastic. So if you go to whitehouse.gov, there is an announcement, a release from the SARS-CoV-19 documents. Pretty interesting stuff. And after they released it, they did an update to include Mr. Fauci's pardon going back to 2014.
Good. Let's get him. Richie is here. Good morning from San Antonio, Texas. Nana is here. Nana, Tammy C54, thank you for the gifts. The stock market's actually closed today, Alex.
Maybe it is. I'm just telling you what the numbers are on my screen.
I'm trying to remember if Good Friday is a closed market or not.
March.
Oh, well, good. No wonder there's no change from yesterday.
He told us what they finished up.
Well, exactly. There we go. Way to Rick, Dave. All right, Dave. So let's move on to our agriculture report.
It's actually pretty quiet out there today. I didn't find much to talk about. I did see that Rubio 2 hours ago said the U.S. will drop Ukraine-Russia peace efforts if no progress with.
Amen.
Interesting. All right, so let's move on to our military report with James this morning.
Interesting that you bring that up. NATO's deploying True Crane ahead of the mineral deal, and they now claim that all NATO targets are legit targets, or all NATO are legit targets. So they're going to go after them, or they possibly could. That's an interesting twist. One of the power moves that the United States is involved in is have now deployed B-1 bombers, the heavies, to the Yemen region, the Indo-Pacific region, and that's in support of taking out the 9 cartels or 19 cartels. There's so many different bombing targets they've identified another 54 targets to go after in Yemen, and that's part of in Iran also. Other big news in the military, the Army has put out a deadline by Monday that anybody that has any reason or want to re-enlist to do it by Monday, this coming Monday.
Interesting.
So all the senior NCOs, they may be plucked out of their jobs and put out for recruiting because of the numbers are way down.
Wow.
That's definitely interesting. We are still conducting Iraq and Syria in Operation Inherent Resolve. The other three that remain for us worldwide is Atlantic Resolve, and that's to defer Russian aggression in the eastern flank. The Demain, Operation Demain, it's humanitarian aid to the Philippines. And Alatonian Protector, us to boost air defense for Syria and Turkey.
Interesting. Wow. Well, thank you for all the updates, James.
Yes, sir.
So we have, Ronnie, thank you for all the gifts. It's appreciated. Charlo is here. I probably murdered that name. My apologies. Charlotte. Oh, Charla, Facebook said, I'm going to TikTok to watch, and you found the right account. I mean, there's so many good Sam Shalhoub's accounts on TikTok. My only legitimate account on TikTok is Sam_Shalhoub. So just so everybody knows. All right, Jen, so what's going on with you this morning?
Oh, talks.
Just as I ask her what's going on, she backs out.
I have to go to unmute myself so you can hear me. I'm sorry for this. It's just allergies. I swear to God, I don't have the COVID. But nothing really. I have an appointment, and they're just re-injecting my lips from the leftover that I had last time. And then all of you men really don't give it fly.
Alex did that last week. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and I can't miss my appointment. But I have to say that Amanda is unbelievably amazing. She's all over social media. She is like unbelievable. That's her right there. She is amazing. I'm just waiting for her to come in, but I'll introduce you when she comes on.
Okay.
Like huge. They're huge people here in Pennsylvania. What I'm saying.
I do. You and Joan Rivers. Exactly. Hokie is here. Good morning, Hokie. Mama Bear, thank you for the gifts. Okay, so let's jump into the first news story. Puerto Rico, we talked about the entire island out. They are still not fully back online, which I find very interesting. Is this an indication? We're going to talk a little more about what's happening with that geomagnetic storm. In fact, maybe we'll just jump to that right now, because I think it's really important. This morning in the Daily Dispatch, I gave a quick synopsis of what a SSB radio is. It's a band radio. It's a form of high-frequency communication used for long-range and maritime purposes. It makes it more efficient for long-distance communication. And then I followed up that with a report, a actual sea captain who will remain unnamed point, but a very reliable source, who said that the SSB radio test was added to their pre-check list for all ships. The United States SSB radio check and test have been added by the Coast Guard for pre-departure check for all ships in the U.S. This is the first time in 30 years that captain has seen this and thought it was odd. Now, if you combine that with this possible geomagnetic storm that started yesterday and is supposed to go till tomorrow, I don't know what to make of it. Maybe it's nothing. I have no idea. But I find it at the very least interesting. Alex, what are your thoughts on it?
Well, looking at the space weather map and understanding what this geostorm is going to do, again, the affected areas are the northernmost parts of Canada. So could be up around Alaska. Some areas are the projected hot spots. But even still, looking at the 24-hour observation, everything's in the green. I don't see anything for alarm. So that the SSB radios are mainly called ship to shore, right? So it is odd to me that they would what's called MRSEC, which is basically the Coast Guard, is that. So my technical brain goes to this: if it's not the storm, right? If there is some sort of cyber event that takes out communications, because most of communications are digital these days, whether light, internet, digital. That to me seems more plausible than a geomagnetic storm. So somebody somewhere knows something or is worried about something that they would add that to a pre-check list, because to not sit for 30 years, and they've been, SSB was early, I think the early 20s or early 30s. My father was a licensed ham radio operator in the military. These are extra long distance radios, right? And while geomagnetic storms can affect types of communications, these radios have been on boats for 100 years, and almost 100 years. And for it just now to be added to a pre-check list to make sure that it's working. Now, it could be absolutely nothing, and let's say some ship has had an issue and they hadn't tested that radio and it failed them, so they thought it was a good idea to add it. We'll just have to wait and see. But I would be more inclined to think that it's either that or some potential breakdown in communications from a technical cyber attack type scenario.
It's awfully coincidental that Puerto Rico goes dark the day before. I don't know if it's connected. I have no idea, but I find at the very least it's suspicious. Dave, what are your thoughts on it?
Well, I think it'd be more of a security issue too, both, I guess, minimal for the boat or to get a hold of them, or for other reasons to check in with them. I think it'd be more of a security issue than the solar issue, but time will tell.
Right, and let's not forget about the MARS, the Military Auxiliary Radio System. James, what are your thoughts?
Well, most of those ships are operating under UHF and VHF, ultra high and very high. I've been using sideband radio in my for the last 35 years, and it's basically the upgraded version of a CB radio. CB radios are, we have 30 some channels. When it's very, very cloudy out, I've actually made communication from the United States.
Wow.
I found out the best area in the country and the most success that I've had with intercontinental communication was down in Alex's area in Kansas.
Interesting. Very interesting.
It's something, if I had to render an opinion of why we're having that, if they, for some reason, this solar storm interferes with very high and ultra high frequencies, I think that you're going to see sideband as more of an emergency communication than anything else.
Very interesting. Any thoughts, Jen?
I like the look you just gave me. I don't know. It just sounds suspicious to me. It sounds like somebody's tampering with things that they shouldn't be doing. But I mean, that's just me speculating.
Right.
What can you really say about that?
Right. No, I agree. It's just to say the least. So Common Sense Guy is here. Good morning, Common Sense Guy. ShareBaby29 says supposed to be able to see anything in the skies. Well, I don't know. Alex, is there Aurora Borealis?
It won't be like last year. So last year's was a 4-5. This is a 4 that they're projecting. But again, the maps of Aurora Borealis are going to be up the strongest. It's the northern side of Canada. It doesn't have to be able to enjoy it like we did last year in the States. I mean, I have photos I can share later. But this year's geomagnetic storms, while they were strong, there was some radio communication interruption in the United States, put on a freaking amazing light in the Kansas skies. I mean, it was like things you see on the internet of people up north that get to see them. It was crazy. They were dancing across the sky.
Right. Lee Daniels here. Hey, Lee, she said it's the Schumann resonance. Lots of new energy coming in. I agree with that. I watch the Schumann resonance daily, and there's been a lot of activity over the last couple of years that could very well be part of it. Said it's mostly used by civilians. Interesting. I didn't know that. Wendy said last year in Memphis. Oh, Jim S. said, I'm north of Atlanta. I couldn't believe I got a chance to see the lights last year. Yeah, it was pretty amazing. The Ghost Ranch, Michael, one of my friends here on TikTok, sent me some pictures out from Kentucky, and beautiful. I mean, it was literally breathtaking.
Over the years, West Central Minnesota, being close to Canada, we've seen some pretty impressive shows too.
Right. Well, this leads us into the next phase. Elon Musk, SpaceX, and two partners have emerged as frontrunners to win a crucial part of President Trump's Golden Dome missile. Now, that's a beautiful picture. Oh, here he comes. Let's see what Alex has got here.
It was stupid TikTok picture. I put a picture up and then it disappears. All right, Here we go. So this was my backyard.
Oh my gosh. That's beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous.
I have to bring mine up.
Yeah.
You get it to play with the beat of ACDC. We got something going on.
Right, exactly. Donna Fox, thank you for the gifts. Excuse me. Wendy said it looks beautiful. Yeah, so talking about this Golden Dome, that SpaceX is the leading bidder or proposed company. I find it interesting that President Trump is calling it the Golden Dome. We've seen all these comms from Fort Knox. We have all of the gold that President Trump has added to the White House. We have gold going through the roof in terms of cost per ounce. I don't know what to make of that specifically, but James, what do you think?
Well, don't forget the debt clock has got a golden rate pretty much at the very bottom. That's never been there. I mean, I go along with the golden theme too. The question is, what are we going to do with that gold? Are we going to turn that into a reserve? Is it the celebration of everything that we found and brought back to the country? I mean, there's a lot of speculation for that.
Well, Alex, what do you make of the Golden Dome and space and President Trump and all the gold comms?
Frankly, I believe we're bringing back the United States to a primacy of gold standard.
Right. I agree. I think that's right. Dave, any comment?
No. We'll see what happens on that. I'm excited if we ever get to Fort Knox, I think it'll explain a lot.
Wow. Oh, wow. That's a beautiful picture. Is that the one by your house?
Yep. That's over top our Ben's site.
Wow. That's gorgeous. All right. So we have Painter said that looks cool. Mary Lees Brown 183 said nice colors. Hey, PJ Party's here. Hey, Peggy. She said AC/DC is playing tonight at the Rose Bowl. All right, good. At least we know about that now. So, all right, we're going to make an announcement now. We've got a lot of people in here. We have got a lot of new followers. Hit the follow button. But first of all, as I said, there will not be a health and wellness live stream tomorrow because of the Easter weekend. I didn't realize it, so it's going to be a week from tomorrow. Here's the other news. I talked to a gentleman by the name of Reed Rasner. Reed Rasner is the CEO of the company that has offered $50 billion for the purchase of TikTok. Now, I've been in communications with Reed and his offices, and they are coming on Monday morning That's our 9 o'clock live. We have Reed Rasner from the company that is proposing to purchase TikTok. $50 billion deal. Now, part of this announcement is tell everyone, if you are a subscriber to my channel on TikTok, here's what your opportunity is. We talked about a lot of different benefits for subscribers. Here's one of them. If you would like me to ask Rasner a specific question about his possible investment in TikTok, and if you are a subscriber, then I want you to send me a message on TikTok and let me know what your question is. We're going to pick several questions from subscribers on what we can add, of what you want asked of Reed Rasner on Monday. Alex, did you have something to say?
Excited.
I know, me too. Dave, what do you think?
Let's do it. That'd be cool to see.
Yeah.
Make your questions good, because the top get top jabbed. So it'd be interesting to see what your people will do on that.
Yeah, exactly. King's Girl 74 said cool. Dana Mackey said cool. Mark Matt subscriber said I watched a live with him yesterday. He's very informative. Yes, he's a very sharp individual. So Donna Fox, cool. Jen making wisecracks in the chat.
If you guys are familiar with Reed, it's REID.RASNER. And I'd encourage everyone go check out some of his videos and what he has to say. And should this $50 billion purchase go through, some of the plans that he has in mind for all of us on the platform. So really do a little digging before you shoot off your questions. Because like Dave said, the best questions are the ones that we're going to pose. Sam and I did to bring this individual on. I think it's a great opportunity for us to get a window into the back end. Our media group and what they do is pretty spectacular. I mean, when you think about the monumental task of raising $50 billion, like this is a good opportunity for all of us to get some information and some insight to how these types of deals are done.
Right. And again, if you are a subscriber, please send me your question, what you want me to ask Reed on Monday. JP Mental Slayer said, I hope he buys it and cleans it up. Yeah, I think that's part of his plan. Cece said, I wish Elon would buy it. Well, you just never know what might happen. God only knows for sure. But it's an exciting time, to say the least. All right, so let's move over to President Trump yesterday, an announcement, according to Bloomberg, that the U.S. is going to sign a Ukraine minerals deal Thursday. That's a very specific timeline that President Trump gave us. Almost makes me think, I wonder if it's already done and haven't released it yet. James, what are your thoughts?
Well, like earlier, it's interesting that NATO decides all of a sudden that they want presence there. And it's not only NATO, but the United States. We're trying to accomplish something that's never been done before in that region. And I want to continue the halo of protection that we give them.
Right. Exactly. Dave?
No, and that mistake, I'm sure it's just going to be a press op for Thursday. I also seen that United States and China are in talks. Trump said that could be solved for the tariffs within 3 to 4 weeks. He had said that yesterday.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. Alex?
Oh, autocorrect. Somebody asked me to post that, and I posted it. It's Reed Raymer. It's Reed Rasner. There you go. RASNER.
Okay, cool.
Oops.
So, Alex, any thoughts on the minerals deal?
When China's locking down, so many chess pieces on the board right now. China's locking down minerals, but yet we're making mineral deals. But yet, it's just we're going to see how this plays out. The bigger picture in this chess game is the fact that in, God forbid, the full scale, blow up with another country, it is a matter of national security right now that the United States has access to these rare minerals to be able to facilitate protecting our own country. That's the big story here. Is he's making moves to make sure that the strategic oil reserve is filled back up after Sleepy Joe Biden emptied it. He's making sure that the rare earth minerals. He's making sure that the steel that's being produced is steel, not Chinese knockoff steel. That's going to protect our ships so that we are again standing strong on our own walls.
Right, 100%. I agree, 100%. So, as Alex said, there are so many chess pieces being moved. Some that we can optically see, and I would venture a guess to say a whole lot that we are not aware of. But for President Trump to come out and what happened there?
Switched it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let me see if I can get this readjusted here.
That's it.
Okay. All right. So anyway, a lot of chess pieces moving in many different directions. Oh, there we go. Thanks, Alex. Let me just readjust it again.
Just keep it.
I know. Yeah, I'll just be back and forth. So, all right. Well, let's move over to the next story. Let's do our sponsors now. Alex, did you say yesterday that you could not put that link in the chat?
It's character limit. It pukes on. I tried.
Okay. All right. Well, first off, Mike Lindell has backed me since the very beginning. He's a patriot. He is defending America. He is doing everything within his power. And I got to tell everybody, as you know, I'm in contact with it. He has been under the gun. He has had so many attacks, debanked, negative press. I mean, I could go on and on. On top of that, Mike went through throat surgery a couple of weeks ago. He's recuperating. He's doing fine. But if you want to support not only this channel, but a good American company, MyPillow, go to mypillow.com, enter in the discount code SAM, and you'll get up to 80% off of all of your purchases. And I would encourage everyone, not just for the benefit of this channel, but for the benefit of Mike, who's in the gap for all of us for a long time now. Secondly, we have Neil Naturopathic, which is the only organic, chemical, and toxic-free hair care products on the market. Dr. Neil is a personal friend of mine. If you go to samshalhoub.com, click on the hair products button, it'll take you to his website. And if you use the code SAM20, that's SAM20, you'll get 20% off of your order. Lastly, Dr. Peter Glidden. He is a naturopathic doctor with over 35 years of clinical experience. He has created a website where you can go in, type in a question that you can think of and how to approach it from a healthy perspective, and he will give you the answer. Now, samshalhoub.com, click on Dr. Peter Glidden's button. It'll take you to his website. Also has just published his new book. So if you go to that button, press it, and put in the discount code SAM, you'll get 10% off of his new book. It's a encyclopedia of health and wellness. So, and as always, it's important. Cybersecurity is one of the most important things we can focus on in terms of a company. Alex, will you tell us about Risk Tool?
RiskToolTech.com is a software that allows companies to train their staff, track the training of their staff on cybersecurity and cyber awareness training. The number one threat to an organization is your staff and your employees. So if you go over to risktooltech.com, also we are launching a referral program. If you refer an organization to Risk Tool and it turns into a client, the first month of their service will be given to you as a thank you.
Wow, that's a big deal. Alex, will you put the Risk Tool website in the chat, please?
I did, sir.
Okay, thank you. Rob Cow, thank you for this. USMC SGT, thank you. Our Jeff Coates here. Thank you for the gifts, Jeff Coat. Crystal Zvinsky said in reference to Reed Rasner, Ask him if he wants to adopt a daughter or add a mistress or I'm available. LOL. That's a good one, Crystal. I like that. Pager said My Pillow is awesome. So, all right, we got some trolls in the chat over there. Okay, so let's move on to Zero Hedge came out yesterday, and they talked about U.S. federal court ruled that Google had illegally monopolized key digital advertising markets, including publisher ad servers, ad exchanges, and advertiser ad networks. And the ruling could deal a major blow to Google. Over 77% of Google's profit were from their online advertising. Now, Alex, you are much more well-versed to explain this. Why don't you explain it to everybody what's this really saying?
Well, so when you have a website, a product, when you have a business, the go-to is Google Ads, the Google Ad Store, Google AdWords, SEO, and how back in the day you'd spend $1,500, $3,000 to put an ad in the Yellow Pages. The younger generation don't even know what that is, but that's you would advertise this in a phone book. Well, today, the way that you advertise your business is on the internet. When you sit down and you type something into a search engine looking for a new cell phone, the people that are paying the most in ads are going to be put at the top for you to see that and click on it. And it is annotated by the word next to it, so you're clicking on an ad. And they're very deceptive in the way that they sometimes slip ads in on something that you think is going to be an actual link. But the violations that are happening is Google's monopoly of the AdWords space and advertising, the way that they list ads and of the ad space that they have bought up. If there was a competitor or a software that was going to outperform what was doing, they would either buy it and implement it or buy it out and shut it down.
Isn't that what happened with targeting? Didn't they either invent it or buy out a company that incorporated? Tell them a little bit about that.
Well, geotargeting is based off of, so your IP address is going to also give information about where you are located. It's why a lot of people use a VPN software that masks not only your location, but the personal information that may be behind it. But geolocating, much like if you talk about for the next 10 minutes, they're listening and it's going to target you based off of the words that they've heard, the location that you're at. So if you're driving through your small town and all of a sudden an ad pops up for a local store, that's geo-targeting based off of Google and what is being tracked all the time on your little smart,
That's probably taking your picture and listening to your audio and.
Oh, well, I'm going to give this some real good pictures to take then.
Yeah, exactly. Dave, any thoughts on that?
Well, it's scary in the same sense, isn't it, on what it's following you. I got a buddy that his guy been in a lot of the military and stuff like that, and he was talking to my friend. He takes his phone and puts it away and away from where he's talking about certain things. So that tells you right there.
Right. James?
Well, I have to ask in this whole antitrust rule, if you go to look at a hotel in a destination that you're going to, and you want to actually talk to the hotel, there's 5 or 6 or 7 advertisers that are trying to get that little chunk of money off the top before they even get you the room. Is that part of this?
Alex?
Yes.
Well, I tried to book a hotel for tonight in another town that's miles away, and it took me 7 different attempts to be able to locate the hotel directly instead of going through one of these advertisers that was just trying to skim. And if you look at the price difference from one to another, it could be $45 a night.
Well, what I have found the best way to book is to go to the actual. So if you use one of the conglomerate sites that combines all of the hotels and you choose from, or whatever the case may be, if you find one that's close to the destination that you want, you can literally pick up the phone and call them and say, "Hey, I'm coming into town, vacancy. You know, this site, this amount, that amount, whatever. What's your best rate?" And most of the time, they will. If the price that they give you does the website, just tell them, "Well, why can I book it on Expedia for a night and you're telling me it's $57 a night?" And they'll go, "Oh, let me fix that for you, sir." And they fixed it. So,
Oh, nice.
Address one other. There's several comments in here about browsers and supported search engines and things like that. So I personally, I have multiple browsers. There's Safari, there's Mozilla, there's Microsoft Edge, Google Chrome, Brave. The one that I use most often is Brave, and that's because of the encryption and the security side of it. But those are search engines, right? They're acronyms, and then you have the actual search screens that you want to plug into. So Google is one, Bing is one, Yahoo is one. So there are different terms, and yes, there have been some privacy issues with the DuckDuckGo platform. But you do your homework. Brave, BRAVE, is a browser you can put on your cell phone. You can put on your computer. If you're using any type of wallets, it gives you the ability to integrate your wallet into your browser crypto space. But Brave by far is one of my favorites.
Well, you know, in terms of search engines too, an alternate to Google, I use Yandex and I use Quant. Both of those have been very effective. It's YANDE Yandex and Quant, QUANT, can be helpful as well. Hey, Virgo 47's here. She said, "Hey, I'm so happy to see you, Sam and panel." Well, we're back. We got spanked a little bit today, but we're back. Jeffrey, thank you for the gifts. It's appreciated. We have T Rainey 2 is here. Hey, T Rainey, glad you could make it. She said duck, duck, he or she, I'm not sure. I think, I don't know. Duck, duck, go. JP Mental Slayer said, "I use Brave as well." Cece wants to know who owns Brave. That's a very good question. I don't know. Amy said, "Can you say again, Alex?"
BRAVE, Brave, home of the brave.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Virgo 47, thank you for the gifts. It's appreciated. All right, so let's go on next. Oh, wait. Did we get everybody on that one?
So the company that owns Brave is the Brave Authors, all rights reserved. Brave is made available to you under the Mozilla Public License 2.0, which is open source. So
Valerie James said, "I use Brave and FreeSpoke." Yeah, I forgot about FreeSpoke. I haven't used that in years. All right, let's move on. Zero Hedge said yesterday that the FAA announced more drone tests in New Jersey. Okay, are we going to start seeing all this happening again? James, what do you, oh.
There's another article out that's saying that those are feds.
Wow. I mean, I don't know what to make of it at this point. James, what do you think?
You know, I don't either. I really don't. They crop up, they go away. They crop up, they go away. Say it's for the census. I don't really know.
Yeah, I don't either.
I would tend to lean towards the fact that it's probably some sort of national security issue that they're looking for.
That's a search.
Could very well be. Dave, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's a search. It's definitely a search, in my opinion.
So what do you think? They're trying to put an eye on Leticia James so that they know whether she's in town?
She's big enough; they don't need a drone.
Dude, no kidding, man.
See which house she's at.
Yeah, exactly. Or what house she might be impersonating.
Her daddy is.
Traveler, thank you for all the donuts. It's appreciated. Let's see. Teresa Faria, contractor, said, "I see lots of them at the back, in the back of her house." Where do you live, Teresa? I'm just curious. Char Laho said, "I think it's a search. It could very well be. Hokey Gigi said, "Cub." Yeah, I'm telling you, I don't know what to give it at this point, but the fact that they're bringing it back up into the narrative tells me something's probably happening. And you combine that with the geomagnetic storm. You combine that with, all of these different chess moving around. God only knows what's really going on.
And let me clarify my statement. That wasn't a statement about her physical size. That was a statement of how big a target she is for these types of articles.
Got it. Hey, Traveler, thanks for extending your membership on TikTok. Also, too, everybody, I want to mention again, we're going to have Reed Rasner offering $50 billion to buy TikTok on the show on Monday, this Monday. And if you are a subscriber, I'm as a subscriber to send me questions of what you'd like me to ask him during. So again, if you're a subscriber, send me the questions. I'll ask Reed as many as I can. He said he's going to be on with us for an hour, but he did also say that there has been times when he's been on other lives and the Trump administration calls him and he had to get off the live to take that call. But he said if that happens, he'll come back on again and answer any questions we want. Again, if you're a subscriber, send me the questions. I'd love to hear what you'd all like to know about.
If you don't know much about Reed, you only need to know one thing. One of his catchphrases is "China can suck it."
Yeah, exactly. I can't wait to hear him say live on our broadcast.
Oh, please, somebody in the comments, what are they searching for? Those drones have the capability, folks, to see air for radioactive material, chemical material. They have infrared, thermal, LiDAR. Like there's so many different capabilities that those eyes in the sky have to be searching for something. So they could be searching for things in the water. They could be searching for things underneath the ground. There's just no telling. There was a particular dock worker at a particular dock that said they witnessed radioactive material being loaded onto container seas, and it was headed for the United States, and it was confirmed, and they still don't know where that's at. So not creating panic and scare and hearsay, whatever the case may be, but they could be looking for anything.
Well, let's not forget when the Soviet Union disbanded, there were suitcase or case-sized things that go like this in those suitcases or briefcases. And I don't want to say that word because that might have been the word that got us banned last time.
Adam, peace out.
Yeah. That's right. We forgot to have a moment of silence for Dark Horse. Okay, there we go. I don't even know if he's in the chat today, but I had to get that in there. Our Jeff Code, thank you for the gifts. It's appreciated.
I guarantee he's listening.
Yeah, I would think he is, yeah. Traveler said, when is he on? So Traveler, Reed Rad be on with us Monday morning, 9 a.m. Pacific on our live broadcast. So hopefully you can make it. Let's see. T. Rainey 2 said, are these drones in Pennsylvania only? Now that I don't know. James, what are your thoughts on it? And do you have any other info?
Yeah.
In terms of the drones, is it only is it New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and what is your take on it in general?
Drones are deployed nationwide. I mean, they could be in any state. They could be borders, and I know they use them at the borders. If they are truly United States based, which there is a degree of red drones throughout the country, a lot of those could be novice. It's almost impossible. If you're dealing with military drones, they're not little babies. These things are, the drones that I'm talking about are 15 to 20 feet long, maybe 25.
Size of a Cessna.
Yeah.
Alex,
exactly.
can you pull up a picture of those? Do they have those?
I can, but just to answer a question, the U.S. acknowledges at least 32 broken arrow incidents, and a broken arrow incident involving nukes since 1950, with 6 nuclear weapons confirmed, lost, and never recovered. So the possibility is out there that there is unaccounted for material that they are worried about showing up.
Some of that, Alex, too, is I just read something yesterday about unaccounted nuclear technology just off the coast of Atlanta or Georgia.
They are certainly concerned about something. So yeah, if you want to see what drones look like, let me flip my camera here. The filtered. They're not the little commercial drones that everybody sees flying around, you know, their neighborhoods and those things. This is come on, turn off. There we go. Flip the camera. These are large, very large plane types, and you have all the technology that's on board. Cameras, lasers, ground trading LiDAR scanning, sniffers that, like I said, smell for, you know, contaminants. There's helicopters that fly around frequently in DC that are going back. So we talked about him before. Those helicopters specifically are sniffing for nuclear material. So they're not small. Like they are very large craft.
Yeah, exactly. Is that what you're referring to, James?
Exactly. And, you know, one of the things, since we don't think that the vast majority of the public knows about those drones, I'm not far away from a drone airport and where they have a bunch of them. So if you'd like me to, maybe I can head up that way for Tuesday and get on the base and actually do a walk around and talk to and maybe we can get a tutorial on them firsthand.
Wow, are you kidding? Yeah, make it happen.
That sounds like a Saturday Live Show special event.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. If you can do that, let's do that. I mean, James, if you can do that, let's do a special military live.
Okay, we'll do.
Okay, let me know. Seth King, thank you for all the gifts. It's appreciated. Teresa Faria, contractor, said, yes, the ones I see are big. I love it that we get protection. USA is the best. Amen. 100%. John Gwynn's here. He said, sweet. Tina's here. Hey, Tina, glad you could make it. That's TK Hurley girl, Tina, not the other Tina. Not to be mistaken with the other Tina. All right, so let's move over now. Yesterday, President Trump was asked about the possibility of terminating Jerome Powell. And he said, quote, okay, he'll leave. If I ask him to, he'll be out of there. Now, here's what's really interesting about that. The Fed is a completely separate company, separated by it has nothing to do with it, okay? They have never had direct instructions or orders given from the government as to what to do or not to do. For President Trump to come out here and say, oh yeah, if I ask him, he's gone, tells me that the Fed has been absorbed by the Department of Treasury in my opinion. Now, I could be wrong, but Alex, you're smiling. Go ahead. What do you want to say?
Well, I mean, chess, people. The old system has to go down for a new system to come in play, right? We talk about reevaluation of gold and the currency and having some sort of backed currency, not a fiat currency that's created out of thin air. And so it begs the question, if we're playing chess, is Jerome Powell just a pawn in the game? And he sent a message this week that he's not coming to the rescue. Is this controlled demolition? Is he in place and being told to not come to the rescue so that the crash, so that we can bring in the new currency? I mean, you have to we're just gonna have to be patient and see how this game plays out, folks.
Yeah, 100%. I agree, Dave.
Yeah, it makes you. There's multiple directions it could go and what their plan is. Maybe in there just for a fall guy excuse, or you know what I mean. So there's a lot of different ways you can look at it.
Yeah, James.
Well, I don't like about the man is his first complaint was tariffs, and that the president is driving this in that direction, and that's something I totally disagree with.
Yeah.
So if he's to step down
if he's a pawn in the game, he's playing to which side?
Right. Exactly. Exactly. And I always look at when things that are controversial come up, my first thing is to look at who benefits from that narrative. And who benefits from President Trump? The Patriots benefit. So I think that in and of itself leads us to a certain conclusion. Hey, Tina, thank you for the gifts. John Gwynn, thank you for the gifts. Hey, Allie Mae is here. Hi, Allie Mae. Haven't seen you in a while. Alex has been keeping you under lock and key, obviously.
Actually, she let me out of the basement today live.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. There we go. Good. Christy B, thank you for gifts. Tina, thank you for the gifts. Teresa Contractor says, hope everybody has a great Easter weekend. Same to you, dear. Same to you. All right. So let's move over to Zero Hedge about the Trump administration ordered a halt to offshore wind project near New York. So we know the drawbacks with wind and solar and so forth. Dave, what is your perspective on that being a farmer?
Well, we see it, not necessarily the stuff. Is that the stuff on the water, right? That was producing?
Yeah.
Okay. And that was causing whales and issues, I think, up there, I believe, around New York. But we still, the least efficient energies out there. And without the government subsidies, it would exist. The amount of concrete they put in the fields around here in Iowa, they have some in central Iowa, and they were going to run a line just north of my farm to Chicago, because that's the better money. But it was about each farm they go across is about $250,000. What are they charging for this stuff in Chicago? That, and how many years get it to pay? The numbers just don't make sense, and they're dwindle now with that line disappeared when Obama.
Yeah, exactly.
So, you know what I mean?
Yeah, James.
Well, the economic output or income, however you want to look at it, that happens to Mother Nature when they take those blades down. They don't really have a substance that they can use to pick up and reuse. So I have pictures. I thought I had one on my display here about the size of the holes in the ground that we have to make just to cover them up with dirt. But one of the problems, it's worse than glass. It doesn't decompose.
Huh. Interesting. Alex?
We've gone over this before. The moron of the whole freaking wind farm scenario is this. It takes more energy to create one of those than that windmill will ever create in its life. It's I mean, it's ending it. You said it. I am in the middle of an area where you drive down the road and there's sign after sign after sign after sign in people's yards out here in the countryside saying no more winds, because they're everywhere down here. And I have insight because of this. The in-laws actually were involved in litigation because of the property that they bought. There were none, and then all of a sudden they started popping up, which creates all of the issues that it creates. And so there were inside looks into these contracts. And when you look at what these people are getting paid to allow these things on their property, again, in that contract, at the end of the life, it's not the wind farm's responsibility to get rid of what's there. It falls back to the landowner, and for the amount of money that they're given to be able to put it on there, it doesn't pay for the removal when it's dead. None of it makes any sense. It just doesn't make any sense, other than these and the money that was being moved around to make them happen. That's what makes sense. And then you combine that with the fact that, how it affects sea life and air and migration patterns of birds, which we see down here. Lots of duck hunting in this part of the country. And the migration patterns have shifted where people had these large properties where they would allow people to come down. The population is just not there anymore. They're putting those places up for sale. It's very strange. It's very strange.
Right, to say the least. So we have Tina, John Gwynn. Thank you so much for the gifts. Christy B, same. Tammy C54, you're a rock star. Thank you. Mama Bear said, and the only way to get rid of the blades is mass graves covered in land. Yeah, that's a lot of truth there. Cece said, we have so many of those in Kansas. ShareBaby29 said, wind farms are used when they go bad. The used parts can only be buried. Yeah, exactly. It's tragic. I for one, am glad to see it's going away.
Hey, Alex, intercept out. You want to let him back in, please?
Uh-oh.
John Gwynn said, not to mention the land abuse affecting habitats and possible other uses as farming. Absolutely, I agree. Hey, S. Southard's here. Hey, S. Southard. He said they kill birds and windmills are standing hazmat machines when they break and catch fire. Very true. Gwynn, thank you. Hey, Blondie's here. Blondie said $800 per term, 1,000 plus surrounding me in Lyman, Colorado. My diabetics on them. Wow. Yeah, I didn't know you were in Colorado, Blondie. I lived in Winter Park for a number of years and then Highlands Ranch. Hey, we hit our live goal, everybody. It's appreciated. Don the 3G is here. Thank you, Don, for the gifts. Virgo 47 said the solar panels took huge quadrants of farmland in the Mississippi Delta area. It just doesn't make any sense.
There's your windmill right there.
What's that, James?
That's your windmill grave right there.
Oh, okay.
That's
Wow.
a bulldozer.
Bulldozer.
Wow. All right, so let's move on to the next. So yesterday, China, under the threat of 145% tariff, said wants to see a number of steps from President Trump his administration before it'll agree to trade talks, including showing more respect by urging remarks by members of his cabinet. Oh, so you're hurting my feelings with your words. I mean, that's what the version that comes to mind. It's like, really? That's what you're concerned about? The sticks and stones may break bones, but words will never hurt me. Come on, argument. Come on. That's crazy to me. Dave, what do you think?
They're not used to that from Trump yet. That's how he plays the game.
I mean, come on. The man's known for mean tweets.
Yeah, but he believes it'll be solved in 3 to 4 weeks. When that does, I think the market's going to skyrocket.
Right.
It's
Alex?
going to open up a lot of stuff.
Chess.
Yeah, I agree. 100% I agree. James?
No, I'm right on board with you guys.
Yeah, Virgo 47 said liberal tears. I love it. All right, and then lastly today, as most of you heard this morning, a 57,000 square foot Temu warehouse in China went up in flames yesterday. The total loss of inventory was estimated to be as high as $56.19. I couldn't resist it, you guys. I'm sorry, but I got so many comments this morning laughing, because I think it's important. We've got to enjoy life, with all that's going on right now, and I just had to do it. I apologize if that got somebody going, but it just cracked me up.
Yep. Divide that up amongst 5 Walmarts. That's about the same.
Exactly. All right. So once again, we're wrapping it up for the day here, but I want to remind everybody 2 things. Number 1, we will not be doing the Health Live tomorrow. It'll be a week from tomorrow, the following Saturday, due to the Easter vacation. And secondly, Reed Rasner, who is the gentleman who has offered the $50 billion to take over TikTok, is going to be on our show, Monday at 9 a.m. Pacific time. Now, again, if you are a subscriber on TikTok and you want me to read your question to Reed Rasner, you have to be a subscriber. Just send me a message, and I will do my best to get as many of those questions that you send me answered by Reed. So, all right, you guys, let's move on to final thoughts. James?
Well, as we go into this weekend, please give continued prayers to our fallen soldiers and those that are abroad serving our great country. For your families, get out and get some fresh air, and hopefully have a successful Easter egg hunt.
There we go. Dave?
It'll probably be a quiet Easter, but you never know with this administration.
Exactly.
We'll see what happens, and we'll see you guys on Monday.
Excellent. Alex?
New article in Kansas City, there's usually a festival of fountains, and they have shut it down this year because of potential protests. Led me to go down a rabbit hole. If you go to crowdsondemand.com, you can buy organized rallies and get media attention for your cause and your candidates. So, coming to, ladies and gentlemen, this weekend is about spending time with your family, enjoying the moment, being present. Let go of what's going on in the media. Let go of what's going on in the country. Let go of what's going on in your town, your city, whatever, and just spend some time with family, because tomorrow is not promised.
Very well said, Alex. Very well said. So everyone at home, have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy your Easter time. Enjoy your family. Everybody for being on the live. Looking forward to being live with Reed Rasner. Again, if you're a subscriber, send me that question you want me to ask him. And in the meantime, I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend, and we will all talk again. Thanks,